All right, I'm going to try and do a quick recording here of what I got going on in my shop. I've got a 30 by 50 building that I'm going to put some interior walls in. As you can see, I'm a wannabe musician, recording engineer. So this space is going to be for possibly some recording and also model railroad. That's probably really going to be the focus. I've got some woodworking tools. You can see I've already kind of got started on what I'm doing here. I have no idea what I'm doing actually. I'm kind of doing it all by feel. I'm still a little stumped exactly how I'm going to go about doing what I'm going to do with the ceiling. There's a 1-inch gap between the rafters and the metal. Nothing is on 16-inch centers or 48-inch centers, so everything's going to have to be custom fit and custom cut to fit up there, because no two measurements are the same on anything in here. But I thought I'd go ahead and document all this. Once I get the room built, I'll probably put together a significant model railroad, as well as having a place to put my drums somewhere. All right, I've got another wall up, another section of wall that is. The whole wall is not up. You can see this side is 8 foot. We pan around over here. You can see this is actually 102 inches. My plan is to have a cross wall starting right there that will come across here and intersect over here. And then I will have a loft, a storage space is probably a better way to describe it, above here. So I'm actually going to be joining an 8-foot wall with a taller wall. I have no idea how this is going to work exactly, but that's what I'm going to do next. Part of the reason I'm going to do this is just for posterity, and everybody can see what kind of stupid mistakes I make along the way and laugh about it on YouTube. Well, the east wall is virtually complete. Had some issues here. I made lots of mistakes. I think I'm going to be able to live with them though. My wall's not actually connected. I should have carried that runner on the bottom all the way out, but I mismeasured and didn't think far enough ahead for where my wall was going to be joined. But it's going to work. If a real carpenter come in here and looked at all this, he'd probably laugh at me. That's what it looks like right now. I've got this wall to do. I'm going to have 2 air conditioner units in here somewhere. I'm not entirely sure how that's going to work either. That'll probably be the last wall I put up. Place is a mess. It's terrible right now. I'll probably do some cleaning tomorrow before I do anything else in here. My project tomorrow is going to be to run 220 from the breaker box over the top of the threshold of the garage door here and come down so that I can actually get my grizzly working. It's 220. I can actually vacuum up some of the mess that I have. That's the plan tomorrow. Of course, I'll have to true up this wall some, try and make sure it's as plumb as possible. It won't be perfect, but it'll be good enough for me. It's not too bad right now. I got a little work to do on it though. Also got some work to do on my garage door. That was kind of a catastrophe. It's never worked because I did it myself. But I'm going to work on it some more. I'm going to get it to work one way or the other. I need to move some things around and make sure it's square. I think that's the biggest problem. It's just still not square. All right. I will pause the video and probably come back after I get some more done. All right, here's the plan for today. I'm gonna get all of this corner cleaned up, get my wood framing installed. Probably gonna leave the box attached where it is right now and just kind of frame around it. That's the plan right now. I'm gonna get that done, and I'm gonna run 220, 240, whatever you want to call it, over here to this area so I can make use of my Grizzly dust collection system, which runs on 220. Here's my materials. Hopefully I won't kill myself in the process. I'm not actually going to put it on camera, so I guess if this never gets posted, you'll know what happened. But that's the plan. I'm going to get started and then kind of show you what I did afterwards. And here it is. I've got the framing put in. I also put in insulation. I haven't talked about that yet, I don't think. There's this material here. I think that's called a purling, I don't know. But that's what the outside sheeting is attached to. So there's a 1-inch gap between that and everything else. So I've got 1-inch styrofoam placed inside there, and then eventually I'll put in the pink stuff and this other stuff. All right, so now the plan is to put in 240. I'm gonna come up through here, go across the top. You can see where I've got some wiring already run. Come down here and have my 240 plug for my Grizzly. All right, I got it finished. Took a little longer than what I wanted it to. If I didn't mention, that's number 8. It's probably way overkill for the distance I went, but it's what I had on hand. So there it is. This right here. I'm sure someone's gonna laugh at this, but that's the way I managed to get to a usable wire size for the actual receptacle. It works. I don't know, maybe someone will post on here and tell me how dangerous that is and I'll do something different. But in the meantime, that's how it's gonna ride for now. I still have some stuff to do over here before I call it quits this evening. I haven't tried to plumb these walls yet. I got some things to do there, put in some anchors on the bottom. That'll be the last little bit I do, and then I'll be finished probably for another 3 weeks or so. I'm gonna be on military, some orders. But the place is a disaster. I've got to get in here and clean this up. That's probably what I'll do after I get my walls plumbed, is kind of get it back to a usable working space again. I'm back from military, back from Alaska, had a good time. Now I'm ready to start getting busy on the building. Today's project is going to be trying to get this cross wall from here to over here. I'm gonna have to put in a door and a place for another cross wall for my loft, which will interconnect back over here somewhere when I get that wall put up. Got a lot of stuff to move around before I get started, so I've got some room to lift a wall up and get it put in place. So here I go. Got the wall completed here. Actually got quite a little bit finished. Also got my north wall completed. So the next thing to do is do this cross wall here that's going to come across from the north wall to the south wall with my headers and start creating the crawl space. Originally I had in mind of it being somewhat of a loft, but after I've done more of my measuring and kind of figured out what I ended up with, it's going to be a long way from a loft, and it's just going to be kind of a big crawl space, which I guess that's better than nothing, because I definitely need a place to put camping gear and Christmas ornaments and summer and or winter clothes, depending on what time of year it is. Got it laid out there to kind of put up. It's going to be a trick to do by myself because I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to do it. I'm probably going to have to put a 2x4 across the top over here to kind of keep it in place till I can get my headers put in. But that's where I'm at right now. So I'm going to close the camera down and get busy, and I'll be back. I've got the center wall up. It's not exactly where I want it to be. Got it close enough that I can run a string line across here and kind of make sure I get it to where I want it. Got it temporarily held in place with this wavy 2x4 I got up there. And you're probably thinking, now why in the world do you have that 8-foot wall there and you've got a header over there with a 10-foot space, and I've got another header here with a 10-foot space? And you're thinking you have just really overcomplicated everything, and you're right, I have. But what I probably haven't mentioned is one of my design features for the model railroad is to be able to come in this door right here and have an unobstructed view all the way across to the far corner there. So I'll have mountains all the way across the far wall, and if I do things right, you won't be able to see any aisle space or very little aisle space. That's kind of what I'm going for, is that as you first walk into the room, to be impacted by the scenery of the layout, and that's what my goal is, to have this one short wall there, have lots of open space, and even over here, you know, I'm pretty sure I will probably have a scenery divider here, and you won't be able to see this over here, but I'm still not entirely sure what I'm going to do there. But I'm getting ready to start building my headers. Going to laminate 2 of these 2x10s on each side and see if I can't get them put up. Put the header up, find out if all of my measurements were correct. My dad taught me to measure 3 times and cut once. I've always been thick in the head though, so getting ready to stick his puppy up there and find out if it's gonna work or not. I have no idea if it's meets code or anything like that, because why would I look at code? Ta-da! There it is. It went in fairly easily. I had some issues here. My nails came through and they stuck out just a little bit on this side, and so it wouldn't go all the way in between my 2x there. I had to kind of push them back in a little bit. Overall, it's working like I measured it and wanted it to. Haven't actually put a level on anything yet. I'm going to show some more progress here, if you can call it that. I've got my other 10-foot header up. Had a little hang up here. When I went to go to put it up in here, it would not fit. I don't know what happened. I guess my jack studs there, whatever you want to call them, I didn't get them measured quite right. I ended up having to chisel out probably a 1/4 inch of wood out of one of those 2x10s in order to get it to slide up in there. So, but it's there. Got some of my ceiling joists in for the crawl space up there. Not happy with it. I've made some mistakes. I think I'm gonna have to completely start over on some of this because I'm not happy at all with what's going on here. I don't know if you can see, but I got my finger yesterday, and I think that was God's way of saying, stop, take a look at what you're doing, you're moving too fast. I got really impatient and I wanted to get as much of this up as I could yesterday because I'm wanting to move on to other aspects of the project. That's an issue. So my 2x6 up there is not flush up against this stud here. I should have cut and had the forethought to realize that I was going to end up with a gap, a huge gap up in there that's just kind of throwing everything haywire as far as where my centers are. So I think what I'm going to have to do is take off all of these joists, which they're not up there too tight. I think I can probably get them all down nailed in probably less than 10 or 15 minutes. I haven't gotten the plywood nailed up there at all, but then cut that joist there up there at the top so that I can slide that 2x6 over flush with this, and then start over with my 24-inch centers and then do it right, because right now it's just not. And I'm also kind of in a indecision about how far to carry this over. Like I said, I didn't measure any of this before I actually started because I'm an idiot. And it looks like I'm only going to have maybe, I don't know, 17, 18 inches of space up there to where my ceiling rafters are, which is not a lot of space. So what's the point of having that all the way down there? You know, I'm 50 years old. I'm not going to be crawling way back there in that back corner where I've got a few inches of space to retrieve a sleeping bag or something else that I've stored up there. So I'm now considering only bringing out that loft maybe to the end of this first 2x10 and calling that good, and then just leaving the rest of that open and having people ask the question, why did you do that? And it will turn into a great story. All right, so I'm gonna get started on redoing all of this. As much as I don't want to, I think I need to make it right. So I will keep you informed with the magic of it. I've got the crawl space in. Still not entirely sure if I'm just gonna leave 8 foot of it or go ahead and extend it down. I'm wishy-washy on it. I don't think I really need it now that I've got it completed and bought all the materials for it. But I'm at a good stopping point for now. Next phase is going to be figuring out what to do about the ceiling. I've got a couple different ideas, but it all really kind of hinges on how much weight can these rafters hold, because I don't really know. Because until I get that done, I can't extend up any of the other walls in here. There's going to be a short rake wall up here that seals off this end of the shop. Still got a lot of work to do. I'm hoping to get as much of this done as I can through the winter. It's September right now. I have no idea when I'll actually post any of these videos, but I'm going to try and get it to where maybe, just maybe, next spring I might actually be able to start working on some bench work for a model railroad. I think what I'm going to do the rest of the day today is clean, figure out how much of this stuff will actually fit up above my crawl space, tear down my drums and my recording equipment. That's a hard thing to do. The decision to what to do with this space I've gone back and forth on so many times, but I decided that I personally will get a lot more satisfaction out of building a model railroad than I will recording myself playing drums and bad guitar, because I'm a bad guitar player. And no one else is going to come out here and record with me, so what's the point? All right, I've rambled on enough. I might actually post this now because it's a good stopping place. I can start on a new phase and show you progress on insulation and ceiling.